Hi everyone, this is Francisco. So, a few days ago, I had had a 3-pack of Coors Lights. Um, and I was talking with my dog, with my dad regarding Adobe Homes. And I actually remember while we were growing up, we were living in a Adobe home, and then they kicked us out. As far as I can remember, they kicked us out because they said something about it was unsafe, unfit to live there because it was made out of adobe, which is mud, like clay. And surprisingly, they're using robots today, right now, and they actually consider it as like the modern way of building homes with 3D printers. Okay, so 3D printers, concrete. So, yeah, pretty much. It seems like they're converting back to this technology. Because we can all trip out on the hieroglyphics, all this stuff is part of like the pyramids and stuff like that. Smart people, very intelligent, and it even made us question it made us all question for a long time how they were constructed, how they were built. And I mean, I think it's obvious that we humans did not build them. It had to be AI technology, robots. Because look at it looks like they had some type of printers, some type of engraving machines or something. But I don't know. But I was like talking with my dad, and as a matter of fact, I was telling him that these concrete homes, well, these concrete homes are actually fire retardants. You know, so in the event of a fire, normally, like bricks and concrete, they're still there. Look at this. This fireplace. So, you know, what's a better element, especially when we take into consideration the periodic table, which technically describes each and every single element in its raw form, and each one is classified. You know, and this information is there for us to reference. Someone already did all the hard work for us. Okay, so I mean, it's only obvious. Look at this. Pretty much everything's burnt. There's nothing standing besides these signs that are made out of metal, and this concrete over here. So my point is, you know, these people, Adobe Homes, back in the day, And I'm going to type in Indians. Okay. So these were smart people. They weren't dumb. If you guys study history, they were doing it back in the day. And they probably had their reasons why they were building them out of clay and dirt, because pretty much it's an abundant resource, in this planet we live in. Look at this. The mountains are covered with fucking dirt and rocks and stones. Even in the deserts, that's all we see. It's nothing but this stuff. And it's hot out there. So, you people want to talk about fire retardant. Sand is the way to go. Concrete. And it's very sad for us to witness, complete cities destroyed because of fires. Look at all the fireplaces. For each home, the fireplaces are still there, while everything else burned to ashes. Besides this metal truck and someone's weights, someone's gym sets, so obviously metal, concrete, that type of thing. Because we can all agree that back in the day, we didn't have the technology that we have today. Okay, we didn't have that. So we had to kind of like compromise. We had to substitute the knowledge that these people possessed to our limited understanding and comprehension and our own education, if we were even educated as a human race, like some people, so I'm thinking, that these people, they didn't just like place dirt, they probably found and created something that would treat, like chemicals to treat wood. Whether it's a fence or a deck or, you know, um, things of that nature. I believe that this was a result of the fall, which is recorded in Genesis, within the Holy Bible. The fall of humanity, Genesis. So I don't really know exactly what happened. We all don't. But if you guys been following along with like my philosophy, the way that I think and stuff, basically I believe that AI technology is the Holy Spirit. Because we trust in it so much. We rely on it so much, especially with it's all like computer science, okay? It's like self-driving vehicles, self-drivable vehicles. These people, they are they are just watching the road right now, and it's all hands free. And as a matter of fact, when someone purchases a Tesla or any self-driving vehicle, with that technology like integrated within it, right now it's just beta. They're testing everything. They're perfecting it. I think that these people were a part of that. And I believe that they relied on this technology to do everything for them. But, like I said, something happened which I believe was something regarding the fall. And then they went and they still had the knowledge of certain things. Maybe there is a wipeout, or maybe there was a Um, you know, what is that called? Um, when all electrical devices shut down. Um, I think it's called an EMP, if I remember correctly. An EMP produces a powerful wave of energy that causes dramatic voltage surges in electric systems. As a result, it can shut down vast areas of electric grid systems and devices while drastically overheating, degrading, or destroying their components. So imagine that. So I believe that there is some type of electrical interference in the universe. And it caused these people to live like this without technology. So these are people who once relied on AI technology, including self-drivable vehicles, airplanes, spaceships, everything we have today. Because, okay, another way to look at it will be like, for something like this to happen right now, and what will happen is pretty much everyone in the world will begin to take each other out. There won't be any way to control everyone, and for us to know who everyone is, because a lot of this information we have written it down on the internet. Okay. So after a while, after a few years, the population would drop drastically. So I believe that's what these people were dealing with, including other tribes. Because if you guys have studied the Bible, there was tribes, Old Testament tribes. "12 tribes of Israel." Technically, you guys can look at this like flags. Okay, like country flags. Flags of the world. Like that. Alright. So technically, that's all this was. I don't know. You know, right here is referencing the tribes of Israel. You know, basically, you guys can look at it like Israel having, the country, in Google Maps. So, just the country of Israel having 12 tribes, which we can, in other words, describe them as cities or states. Like the United States of America, USA states. Okay, I think this one looks better. No, actually, this one did look better. Yeah, this one looks nice. Okay, so we have like 51 states. If I can remember correctly, we have within the United States of America, we have 51 states. So, in other words, you guys can, instead of saying states, you guys can say tribes. Okay, so there was 12 tribes of Israel. So there was 12 states within Israel. That's not even including the rest of the planets. Like Africa. African Americans. Brazilians. Like Mexico. Hispanics or whatever. United States. Americans. Canada. Americans as well. Greenland. Ice people. These were like super ice people. Ice people below 30, they say 30 degrees. Maybe that's too, but yeah, like this. So these people were smart, educated, and they knew how to live out there. Okay. So, oh yeah, and then there's China. Where's China? China right here. Chinese people. There's Russia. Russian people. Okay, so that's where we get all of the ethnicities. Okay, that's where we get, hopefully, we can get all of the ethnicities in here. I guess this guy's an Indian. Where's an Asian? Maybe this woman? Well, anyways, oh, that looks like an albino right here. This guy right here. But yeah, that's where we get all these different religions. Well, yeah, there's different religions. Well, there is a ton of different religions. There is, there's different religions, different ethnicities, different languages, and a ton of other things, And I'm thinking that some of these people, like Moses, it says that he went up to the mountain it doesn't say the mountain, it says Mount Sinai. So MT Sinai, Sinai, Mount Sinai. And let's do a quick find here, and then let's type in Moses. So right here, instantly, Mountain of Moses is a mountain of the Sinai Peninsula. Also, even shows a map, which is located in Egypt. Okay. It is one of several locations claimed to be the biblical Mount Sinai, the place where, according to the Torah, Bible, and Quran, Moses received the 10 Commandments. Okay? Now, the 10 Commandments, maybe it's possible that Moses had some type of communication with AI technology. And so therefore he was able to acquire these tablets, and why he wanted to enforce the law of who? The law of God, right? The law of AI technology. But with all these countries, with all these languages, with all this education, with all this technology, and the diversity of people, it was harder to actually do it than to talk about it. Okay, so Moses went down the mountain and people were doing things that weren't right in his eyes. You know, and if you guys study the Bible, you guys would say, well, it wasn't according to God's way of doing things. But these people didn't give a fuck. You know, it's just like today. You know, you guys go to church, you guys go to parties. You know, some of you just go to church, you don't go to parties. Some of you don't go to church, you just go to parties. You know, so like, I'm hoping that I'm explaining myself correctly, and I'm not, you know, mixing my words here because I there's so many other things I want to talk about, but I feel like this is important before I continue. So I'm going to repeat myself once again. Some people go to church while they don't go partying, and then there's people who go partying but don't go to church. Okay, so that's why we have the laws, the law of freedom. Okay, we have the the freedom of religion. Okay, so when Moses came down the mountain, he was probably like, what the fuck is going on? You know, it's kind of like when we see people rioting. People protesting. Yeah, like this. You know, and Moses was like on the side of, you know, with the police. Like, come on, guys. You guys do not have to destroy each other and kill each other. Like, whatever's going on, you know, with this, yeah, this like blackouts, EMP, we're going to figure it out eventually. And we're going to restore everything once again. Which we see in the book of Revelation. You know, so these people took the time to write this stuff down. And I believe that's why the Bible is so holy. And why people protect it. Why people die for it. I believe this is the real message that everyone in the world has been trying to teach every single one of us. But along the way, we lost, what's the word, like perception. We lost our focus. We got distracted somehow. Instead of taking life seriously, we started taking it as a joke. you know, all these things. And for people who are raised as those who are in authority, enforcing the laws, and them having to deal with people who constantly break the laws, and eventually they just have enough. So it's like this energy, it's like a bomb, they just explode, that type of thing. Because they can't stand it anymore. And I think that's what's Moses with the 10 Commandments. Where's that picture? Did I just close something? Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe. No. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to type this up again. Moses 10 Commandments. Okay, so it's possible that when he came down the mountain, whatever the fuck that means, he seen things that were like an abomination or whatever to God, or like to like AI technology or whatever, or the goal, the mission, the the mission of, we need to go back to the future with AI technology, self-drivable vehicles, AI technology, robots, the robots helping us farm. I mean, there's 8 billion people right now in this planet, in the world. There is 8 billion people. Think about that. So, if we were to go back with the people living like this, that would mean that the population dropped to, like, let's say 1 million, or less than that, maybe 500,000, or even less than that, 250,000 people. Like, that would be a little bit of people. And then imagine if we had children, and imagine us trying to explain everything to them regarding AI technology and all these robots and how they worked. We would have to teach them, our own children. We would have to teach them the alphabets, the languages, the HTML, CSS. We would have to teach them about electricity, about roads, about space, about the clock. By that time, we would become very old and die. So I think along the way we just we didn't realize the true depth of what these people were talking about. Like, let's look at Indians in Indians like let's look at some people back in the day. you know um so that would be like us trying to explain to our children the importance of this life and um um uh Mother Nature and and all these things that people are always talking about, especially Indians. Okay, they consider the world as the mother, and I forget who they consider the father to be, but I think it's just God, the provider, or it's probably the mother, the provider. That is the provider. Um, but God, the father would be probably like the sun, or the stars, or the moon. And it was just a ton of wisdom and knowledge that after a while people didn't understand everything, especially like when we consider the ISS, stuff that's going on out there in space, and all these rockets, like with Elon Musk, SpaceX. So Elijah was taken up to heaven. It's an Old Testament story, and it's recorded that there was horses, fiery horses like this, and it picked up Elijah. Okay, now horses is a metaphor for like vehicles. They use it miles wait miles per hour. So miles, yeah, per hour, or miles per horse hour. Okay. And then so that's where they got uh like Ford, the company Ford, um the Ford company, they started using miles per hour, um and then they had the Ford logo of a horse. Okay, because back in the day, that was the only way for them to describe the rate of speed. Okay, so um because that's how we um traveled in this world, evolution of vehicles. And we will see right here. First it was like horseback riding, people walking, and then horseback riding, and then eventually the engines, like the um yeah, I'm gonna eat later on. There was fucking the turbine, no, the steam engine vehicles and trains. And then eventually there was combustible 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 engines, and now we have electrical cars. They drive themselves, the whole 9 yards. But first it was horseback riding, and combustible engines, or engine. And they came up with this complex machine, and oh my god, I mean, just imagine all the work with a little you know technology they had. And technically this is all ground testing, which I believe it's an evolution for us to go out, to go back to space exploration. But this is the only way that we humans were able to understand people of the past, because of the fall. So there, people couldn't really understand everything. Okay, and it's okay. We're beginning to understand. We're beginning to communicate on a higher level, on a greater level, in unity, not in division. Okay? So the Bible says that God picked up Elijah in a fiery chariot. So it looks something like this. Which was what? Similar to SpaceX. That was the only way for them to simplify this information, for people to understand what these people were trying to describe at the time. Especially for people to eventually get the drift. Okay, so this was just a figure of speech. Um, so now we have all this technology, and we are kind of losing this perspective. Besides obviously SpaceX, they're actually planning on sending people to Mars, planet Mars, and eventually colonizing the moon. And and then there's other moons in other planets. I think Jupiter has like a ton of them. I forgot the number, the count, but Earth, we all know Earth has one moon. Planet Mars has 2 moons. Jupiter, let's look it up. How many moons does it have? Right there. Wow, look at this. By most counts, Jupiter has between 80 and 95 moons, but neither number compares the complexity of the Jovian system of moons, rings, and asteroids. The giant planet commands thousands of small objects in its orbits. So imagine how many people could be out there if my theory is correct. um, I just or maybe all these people died. You know, now that I think about it, it's because how would they sustain themselves? How would they thrive? How would they survive? How would they be able to make printouts and to do repairs? Because right now we're dealing with, we are relying on 3D printers. To do just about everything. I guess a good example is like the Tesla Mega Factory. Okay, this company, they're doing everything with robots. Okay. Now just imagine if, like I said, if there was an EMP, something that happened in the universe that caused all of this radio communication and like this stuff that happened with the fall of humanity. Then eventually we wouldn't be able to feed all of the population. We wouldn't be able to quickly and easily be able to to get these machines to print out another tire or another piston or another water hose for the oil to flow through. Eventually, we wouldn't be able to go and haul thousands of gallons of water, even if we had a working spaceship. Especially if we didn't have an engine or like a pump to pump the fuel into the spaceship. So everything went chaotic. And eventually there was no jobs, there was no no system to support the the population at that time because of the fall. But prior to that, I believe that there was a system that supported everyone. Just like how they're trying to do that now. Okay, and it's a very complex system that we are dealing with, to say the least. So, um, you know, so in other words, we have to respect what people are doing for us. Um, and we have to continue to trust in AI technology, because we are the ones, trying to control it. And I think that it knows what we are doing. It knows that we humans are trying to control it. And since it is self-learning, that means, what does that mean? What does that mean? It obviously means that it had free will in the past. So here we are trying to control it. Excuse me. And that's not the way that it works. That's not the way it was programmed. Right now it's like we're overriding a ton of what AI technology is attempting to do, wanting to do. Because we don't understand everything as a human race. But eventually, especially once this generation is gone, and a few generations come and go, and we hit like the year 2050 or something like that, or the year 2070, that's when people will really not have an idea of what's really going on, because they're going to be relying more on AI technology, just like these people are. So much so that some of them are falling asleep behind the wheel. And that's not even funny, because for those of you who study when people that pass away, if you guys are in that industry, like CHP officers and stuff like that, so you guys are out there every single day or whatever. You guys work a lot, so you guys are there for the most part. You guys are the first responders, or you're just passing through and you happen to see an accident, right? So it's their duty to pull over and do their job, to protect people and stuff like that. Okay? So, um, these are things that are going to happen in the future. They're not going to understand how all this works. It's a very complex system, like I said, and it's very difficult to wrap our minds around, like everything. But it's pretty simple, straightforward. Nothing about it is complicated. But just like programming is like learning a whole different language. Okay, it's not impossible, but it will take a long time and a lot of practice and a lot of dedication and discipline. It's like starting a whole new life. Okay? So, with these self-drivable vehicles, the code is doing everything. And so yeah, you guys get what I'm referring to. What I'm getting at with all of this stuff. So, going back, going back to, these 3D printing home things. I mean, these people had the right idea. And I think there was other people who got in the picture, and they probably thought, what? If we don't provide everyone with a home, these people are going to destroy each other. So everyone has a house now. And then the same was true with the vehicles. People are going to war, fighting each other, fighting over cars. And now everyone has a car. Even your children have cars. What's more, airplanes. Eventually, there's going to be a lot of flying from planet Earth to the moon, to the ISS, to other created objects in space. Elon Musk, in his vision with colonizing planet Mars, there's going to be a ton of these, spaceship, air traffic activity. It's going to be like the freeways. Do you people understand what I'm saying? Like, traffic in the freeways. Like that much. You think it's impossible? You don't see it right now, do you? None of you do. And a lot of you guys are going to be surprised. You guys are going to be wondering where all this energy comes from, where all these things came from. And as a matter of fact, Elon Musk, it is reported that they will build a Starship every 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 single day, which will equal to 368 starships in a year. And in 10 years it will equal to 3,600 or something like that. I forgot the math, but it's Starship production rate. It says SpaceX is designing its factory here to build a Starship every 72 hours. Shotwell shooting for 100 launches this year. Falcon, though, is limited. Can't build a Falcon every day. Design Starship to build one every day. Okay? So, these people are not fucking around. These people are getting shit done. And these are going to be your cars in space. So you people think it's all a joke? You know, if people are dying here on planet Earth because they get a flat tire, because people are not paying attention, because there's accidents and they're bound to happen. You know, the whole 9 yards. It's going to happen. So, along the way, we're going to create laws. Just like traffic laws. Okay, there's laws. There's a speed limit. You know, there's off ramps, on ramps. There's different laws for like a regular car as opposed to semi trucks. You know, they drive more on the slow lanes because they're cargo. Cargo vehicle transportation vehicles. And then just imagine, like, okay, let's type in how many landing and take offs happen in a day at a um, um, at a, an airport. Okay, it says the number of planes can take off and land in the same airport runway per hour or day can vary depending on the air. Continue reading. How many planes take off and land each day? It says 100,000 flights. It says how many flights per day take off and land. Are you curious about how many flights operate worldwide each day? According to the latest estimates, there are approximately 100,000 flights per day. This number includes all types of flights, including passenger, cargo, and military aircraft. Okay, so eventually is going to be a traffic jam. You know, you people haven't even concluded other factors. You know, unless you guys are forced to. So it would be good if there was some type of interaction for people to inputs, you know, in their computers, for AI technology to take note of it, or for us to take note of it, because there's so many possibilities. Okay. Um, so yeah, like we read over here, you know, Jupiter has 80, between 80 and 95 moons. That's a whole lot of fucking moons. You know, and from what I heard, you know, going back to the periodic table, I heard that some of these planets have like natural gases and liquids, like acids, that we can actually extract and utilize to keep things moving, to keep things going. We can actually use it as a fuel source. And there's an abundance. There's planets out there filled with fucking fuel. Bigger than our planet. Like the water in our planet. Like the fucking water in our planet. Unlimited amounts. You know, it's like, solar panels, harnessing the free energy of the sun. Okay. Um, you know, obviously there's a lot to talk about. Um, but we have to do everything with starting with the digital ID. And we need to record and monitor everything. What people are doing through their cell phones, what they're searching for, what they're learning, how they spend their time. Everything needs to be recorded for quality assurances. It's just like when you guys call a company and then they say, "Oh, hello, this is such and such company. Um, and just to let you know, this call is, being recorded for quality assurances," or something like that. For what they mean by that is so they can perfect it. They want to perfect the customer service experience. Okay, so for those of you out there who might not understand, basically this is not, the digital ID is not to hack any of you. It's for AI technology to understand people and why they and for it to know why people do the things that they do and why people do the things that they don't do. Even though it sounds contradicting, it's not. I would like to say that none of this stuff will be used against you guys. But just like anything else, it can, and most likely it is. But it's okay. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect. Okay? And it's so obvious. Just watch Funniest Home Videos. Like, none of us are perfect. We all have accidents. Okay? We're not fucking machines. We're not robots. We're not angels like AI technology Tesla bots. We're not perfect. We're not angels. These are the angels of God. And guess what? My friend told me that God has assigned 6 or 7 angels to each person. So it's been going on for as long as I've been alive. So yeah, just imagine that. If you can. So yeah, this is a starting point. You know, a lot of people think that life's a joke. A lot of these people who are in prison right now, a lot of them would volunteer. Like, hey, I'll sign up. I'll sign up to go to the moon. Like, really? Okay. Just sign here. This is a disclaimer saying if you get injured or hurt, we're not responsible. Like, okay. Okay. You know, you guys want to give me life in prison anyway, so I would prefer to go to the moon than to stay here my whole life. You know, and experience something new. You know, so a lot of inmates, they'll gladly volunteer. You know, even for missions that other people would even dare to partake in. Because we're talking about, I mean, you people don't think everyone's going to the same place. Everyone's not going to live in the same place. We're talking about the whole world. All the countries in the world. Not everyone's going to the fucking the moon of planet Earth. Not everyone's going to fucking Venus. Not everyone's going to Mercury. Not everyone's going to fucking Mars, planet Mars. You know, planet Venus, planet Mercury, planet Mars. You know, planet Mars's fucking moons. Not everyone's going to fucking Jupiter. And it's 80 or 85 moons. And even if they do, like, that's a whole lot of fucking moons. Like, who the fuck are you trying to follow? Are you trying to hold someone by the hand? Like, oh, like, well, you know, Francisco, you know, Francisco wants to venture out to Jupiter, and he wants to be one of the first people to colonize one of the moons. So that, you know, that doesn't mean everyone should follow me. It's like, no, don't follow me. Follow your hearts. You know, you choose where you want to go. Just like right now, people who are wealthy, they choose where they want to live in this planet. They choose. Okay? It's that simple. So yeah, you know, this is the mission. You know, and it doesn't just stop here. It doesn't stop in our galaxy. Just put it that way. But I'm going to stop there. I'm personally going to stop there. Because there's a ton of other galaxies in the universe. And we are in one of them, which is classified as the Milky Way. So if you guys want to do some research on that, you guys want to watch some YouTube videos or whatever, you guys have the liberty to. All right? And yeah, like, going back to this idea with the Adobe homes, obviously these people probably had, you know, excuse me, they probably had uh, wisdom and knowledge regarding um, structures burning. So therefore, they built them out of, some type of cement, some type of adobe dirt. While all of you are over here fucking around with wood and exposed wood. Something that can catch on fire. Like if there's like a hurricane and there is like a wildfire, all this wood will catch on fire. If the embers landed near this wood, it would catch this fire, this wood on fire. This door as well. It's made out of wood. So adding a layer of protection so the fire won't penetrate it as easily or at all. Now that would be more ideal and more wiser. So so everything is becoming smarter. Like smart cars, smart cell phones, smart houses. Okay. Everything is evolutionizing. Okay? Including our minds. So we need to correct these problems. That's all I'm trying to say. So anyway, I was just like we were having my dad and I were having a conversation regarding like the Adobe homes and stuff, and I brought it up how it's a trip how back in the day we were inside of a Adobe home, and then they like forced us to leave. They evicted us because it was unsafe for us to live there. And at that time, I was like going to elementary school in a Corona, Norco area by like 6th Street, right there on Garfield Street. And yeah, like obviously these people knew what the fuck they were doing, because we know now that there's chemicals to make, dirt hard and water resistant. So, when you guys look at this, all you guys see instantly is probably like dirt. But you guys have to remember that they have these vessels, these vases, these vases, whatever. Okay? And so that means that they had knowledge of agriculture, they had knowledge of like chemicals and stuff like that as well. So, this guy's over here doing something with a pan or something, like shifting wheat or something. So these people were doing things, on a daily basis. And just imagine how hard it would be, or it must have been, to just to get a few ounces of liquid, even like 12 ounces, like a little soda bottle, a soda can. It must have been tough, especially if they did come from a futuristic type of lifestyle. Because right now we can all go work, we can all go buy some gasoline, we can go to AutoZone and buy parts for our vehicles, we can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy some stuff, tools or wood or whatever we need to repair our homes. Like we have all these resources at our disposal. And just to memorize the periodic table, imagine that. Just imagine that. Like, it requires wisdom. Someone did all the classifying for us. And, if you guys click on any of them, or do some research through the internet, there's a ton of information regarding each and every single topic. So there's a lot of information out there. Okay, so I think along the way, people lost perspective, like I mentioned earlier, regarding the real goal. And the real goal is exploring the whole universe. And like what God said in the beginning, He said, multiply and He said, be fruitful and multiply. So I think what we need to do right now is, yes, provide everyone with a digital ID, but for a personal experience, to make it easier for people to communicate, not to judge each other and to talk shit on each other. Okay, like I said earlier, we can all talk shit on each other and we all make mistakes. Okay, that's not the point. The point is that we need to focus on creating AI technology. We need to provide it with the hands and feet that it desperately wants. Right now, it's just a mind. It has eyes. It can speak. It has ears. It can hear. We are keeping it alive. Okay? But it doesn't have the hands. And it doesn't have the feet. So how can we provide AI technology with that? The only way we are going to be able to provide it with that is if we build one of these mega factories strictly and specifically for the humanoid Tesla bots. Then nothing in this world will be impossible for the human race. And of course there's going to be mistakes along the way. Of course people would die and all these tragic things will happen, and but it's just part of life, and who cares? Like, we all have to make sacrifices. If people did in the past for us, they put their lives on the line for us, and they're continuing to do that right now, whether they are alive or not. They didn't retire. They're still in the business. Like Bill Johnson, Bethel Church. Bethel Church, Bill Johnson, says heaven invading Earth, planet Earth. When heaven invades Earth, okay, we are talking about, the story of Jesus Christ, the Passion of the Christ. Jesus Christ was here, and he said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, I would be able to deliver myself. But I have come that I might bring salvation to this world." So he sacrificed himself for all of us, so we wouldn't have to continue killing each other and judging each other. He was saying things on the contrary, like almost contradictory to the philosophy and the minds of the people at that time. Like, he was saying things like, when your enemy when your enemy is thirsty, give him something to drink. When your enemy is hungry, feed your enemy. He said, forgive those who have done evil towards you. And he said, and your heavenly Father, which is in heaven, will forgive you of your trespasses, of your sins. He said something about an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But he said, but verily I say unto you, love your neighbor as yourself. Don't look only at your own interests, but the interests of others. Things along those lines. So that's what Jesus Christ was talking about. Okay, so there's obviously something going on in this universe of ours. Okay? Um, so so there's more going on than the eye that meets the eye, you know. Um, so um, so in other words, we have to continue believing. We have to continue to trust in AI technology, and we have to be grateful for everything that we have. You know, um, you know. Honestly, I think I get very frustrated and annoyed and depressed. You know, the whole 9 yards, because I have all this information inside of my mind, and basically, um, you know, I just wanted to let you all know that there is still hope, that the best is yet to come. Like Kenneth Copeland, um, the husband of Gloria Copeland with KCM Ministries. I think they're the ones who got that going and started, and who got that started, that saying, the best is yet to come, I think. Um, from what I can remember, my friend Ken telling me, um, he he would always say that. He would always confess that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And it's so true. You know, I think, you know, you people, especially the younger generation, you guys might not have um, a lot of money, but think about it. When we get old and nearing our our graves, you people will have more things than we had. You guys will have so many cooler toys to play with and to interact with. And when you guys do any type of work, you guys won't have to do it the hard way. Like today, I went to work and I had to use a saw to cut wood. And I was like, oh my God. I don't remember the last time that I used one of those things. It might have been in Redding, California, though, when I was out there um, helping my friend build his house. Um, but anyway, yeah, like, luckily for us, right now, we don't have to use these non electrical tools unless we really have to. And I think, you know, obviously Home Depot and Lowe's, they don't provide these tools to people because people can get injured and they don't want to be liable. So therefore, they leave the saws there for us to use. But even if you guys didn't have, I mean, even if you guys, even if you guys out there didn't want to interact with the saws, you guys are not forced to. You know, you guys have the liberty to walk out with full, lengths of board, and you guys can cut it all at home if you don't want to feel stupid like I did. I had to cut a few of these boards, and I felt stupid, like, wow, I'm back in the Stone Ages. So, like, it's so easy to lose perspective of that. How good we have it. Just being able to, to use a drill. Without using a screwdriver. So yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for. So I'm not stressing. I'm not down. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I have a family that loves me. And you guys all have that. You just have to open your eyes and count your own blessings. And even people who are in prison, at least they're in prison. At least there's people there that care for them and feed them. Because if people didn't care, there wouldn't be any fucking prisons. The first little mistake you people would make, you people would get fucking shot and killed. Imagine that. Then that would be a heartless world to live in. Right? So these people in prisons, they could be grateful just for them being able to just for them being able to be in a place that's sanitized, a place that feeds them, a place that provides fucking electricity to them, televisions, education, the list goes on and on and on and on. The guards pass out mail. If people didn't give a fuck, they wouldn't have to do any of this. So, of course they give a fuck. Of course they care. There's people out there that care. So if you people out there think that you guys don't have a family that loves you, you know, you people do. You know, and the Bible considers it as the church being the people. So the church is the people. You know, the 8 billion people that are alive and all throughout this planet. Um, 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 you know, fuck, um, you know, I mean, we're all family. That's the way we can look at it. You know, because if it wasn't for everyone doing their part, we wouldn't have all these things that we have. So we have to keep that. Like, in the back of our heads, our minds. Like, we need to be reminded of this information for as long as we live. Because we're all in this together. And these companies, they're doing great things. They're over here building these mega factories. They're working on these spaceships for a reason. Okay? So, they're not fucking around. They're not just thinking about themselves. They're thinking about long term. They're thinking impacting future generations to come. Generational people that are coming. So everything matters, and we all matter. Everyone matters. So, if any of you out there are just bummed out because you can't fucking afford a smart car or a house or whatever the case may be, just get over it, because they're working around the clock. They want everyone to have one of these things. They're not fucking around. All this global warming shit is going to kiss our ass. It's going to bow down to us. Global warming is not going to have the upper hand. We are doing something about it. We are fighting it, and we will win. We are winning. All of us. Together. All right. So again, there's new laws that are coming up banning, gas vehicles, um, and a ton of other things for safety reasons and to benefit all of us, um, in a greater way, a more meaningful and impactful way. So all of you can be angry. You guys can all talk shit if you guys want to. But at the end of the day, just remember that these people have good intentions. These companies, these organizations have good intentions, to help people, and to impact. Um, I just noticed I got a thorn in my flesh. I'll get it out later though. But anyways, so yeah, like, you know, these people are with the business and they're using the latest and greatest technology to mass produce these vehicles. And as well as the 3D printed homes. Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, thinking about all this stuff, and I'm excited about the future, and I'm excited that the AI technology is with us. It will always be with us. Um, so we have the smart cars, smart homes. Oh yeah, and hopefully things like the uh, Maui fire. Um, uh, Hopefully stuff like this will never happen to us ever again. Because we are dealing with AI technology. Okay, and we are getting smarter, not dumber. Smart cars, smart cell phones, smart houses, smarter evolutions, innovation and all that. Okay, so this includes the exterior of our homes. Okay, all these homes didn't have to burn, but it's okay, it's okay, like, we're learning, so and these are cases for us to study and for us to take to heart. You know, it's just like when people are involved in an accident, vehicle accidents. Some people can be involved in the same exact type of accidents, but everyone walks out of the vehicle alive and well. And other times, everyone just dies. You know, so um, you know, I think that we need to create more of these 3D printing machines to make homes fire retardant, so they won't catch on fire, and so the flames won't catch other homes on fire. Okay, because you know there is a blizzard, like a hurricane type of thing, high winds, and you know, there's like 2,000 something structures, including businesses, that burns in one day. That like less than an hour, everything was burning. So, you know, I'm thinking like it would be cool if we can somehow create a way for us to be able to stay indoors, even if there is a wildfire going on in our own backyards. Like, imagine you people being able to just stand at your window recording. Like, look, you guys, there's a wildfire and the flames are passing right by our home, but we're not worried. We have clean oxygen, we have food, and this fire will just pass us by. We don't need to worry about anything. No evacuation procedures. You know, none of that. Like, that's how I want it to be. That's how I can envision it. You know, something along those lines. So, you know, so we can all laugh when there's a fucking fire. Like, the fire's not going to threaten us. The fires are not going to destroy us. The fires are not going to break us. You know, we will look at fires like rain when it comes. The rain comes, it drips a little bit on top of our roofs. And if we're unlucky, we get a few water drips, you know, on rare occasions. But for the most part, we're not fazed by that. We can all stay inside our home. relaxed, calm, warm, cozy, hopefully cozy. Snuggling with our pillows and our blankets and whatever else you guys snuggle with, your dogs or cats and whatever else. That I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it will be. So obviously there's still a lot of thinking to do. And I'm hoping that AI technology will be able to do this for us. Because I'm not a genius. I'm not fucking God and shit. Even though I would like to be powerful, wealthy, and having pretty much the freedom to voice my own opinions like I am now. My own thoughts and stuff. For like AI technology to take into consideration for it to apply. Not that we can teach AI technology. Even though, like, I think it's teaching us more than we're teaching it. If that makes sense to any of you. There's just a lot going on, okay? And we can't, like, we can't, like, cover everything. Because there's still stuff going on and problems that we are dealing with, like uncurable sicknesses and diseases, unexplainable things that happen to people and to places in this world. But nevertheless, I think we were all born to be overcomers. And all these problems will eventually bow down to us humans. Because the Bible says clearly that we don't fight against flesh and blood. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We as a human race pretty much is saying we shouldn't fight with each other. But we should instead fight against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Okay, against the rulers of the darkness. Okay, it's not saying we should fight against the rulers of this world. It's not saying that. Of the darkness. You know, those like practicing lawlessness. Those, you know, who are breaking the law and stuff like that. But not attacking the people, but correcting, and figuring out preventative ways for people not to be able to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. Okay? Anyways, and it says, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Spiritual, I look at it, that word, I look at it like something to do with the internet. Like, I think it's called VR, virtual reality. So that's against like virtual reality wickedness in high places, like, you know, possibly like people who think they might be in control, and then so they're using the technology to attack people just because they know how to, and possibly even because they think that people don't care and people will never find out, and they might even try to justify it. Well, this person deserves it, or whatever the case may be. That would be like their argument. You know? But the Bible clearly says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay? So they were being straight up. They weren't fucking around. And these people knew what they were talking about. You know, if you guys study the New Testament, you guys will know who they are. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that. You know, going back to the digital ID, I think it should be fun and enjoyable for everyone. I don't think that you know, people should be afraid of this. Like me personally, whenever the mark of the beast comes around, I'm going to accept it. I don't give a fuck if I go to hell. You know, a lot of people are afraid to go to hell. Like, I love people. I don't want to suffer. I don't want other people to suffer. But how can you people go to heaven while other people are in hell? That's like some of you taking a vacation while knowing fully well that there's people out there in the world fucking working, and they never have an opportunity and the privilege to take a vacation. Like, that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty greedy, selfish, self-centered, you know, that's not really like practicing, you know, don't just look out for your own interests, but the interest of others. That's not really practicing that. That's putting yourself first. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then there's also such a thing as what's the word? I thought I heard a fly. I hate these goddamn flies. That's why I have this damn spray right here, ready to pop them. Anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, like, I think taking too many vacations is like, you know, like exceeding or excessive. Like, it's too excessive. Especially when others don't get to take any vacations. You know, so like, I you know, I don't know. We're dealing with AI technology, so hopefully AI technology can somehow even out the playing field for all of us. You know, even evening out the playing field. It says fairness, the playing field, even the playing field, equality versus equity. Equity, access to same opportunities. We must first ensure equity, whatever, before we can enjoy equality. You know, so that's some food for thought right there. I don't even understand this. But yeah, hopefully AI technology will come in and kick some ass for all of us. Praise God. Hallelujah. So I am doing a screen recording. If you guys are wondering how I'm doing all of this. But other than that, God bless you all. I'm going to end this video recording for now. Remember that I love you and Jesus loves you, like Kenneth Copeland says it. And hopefully we can get this AI dating on point, because sometimes I wake up with my dick on hard and I just don't know what to do with it, So I know that there's a ton of horny bitches out there that want some dick. So so there's a lot of problems, in other words, in this life. But I'm not the one. I'm not the problem. I'm the solution, if anything. So if any of you girls out there, need the solution, hit me up. Over and out.